From the murky waters of the sportsman's paradise, stories emerge. Stories of the generations of people who have shared in the bounties of the land. Stories of communities that have persevered through natural disasters. Stories of the abundance of fish, wildlife, and adventures that create an ecosystem rich in diversity. And from the silted banks of the mighty Mississippi to the soggy marsh bottoms, from the tops of towering pine forests to the depths of the salty Gulf, human and animal have shared this fortune for centuries. Enjoy these stories as told by outdoor journalists who travel across our state, documenting the adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage that make us Bayou Wild.
Welcome to Bayou Wild. I'm Martha Spencer, along with Don Dubuque. We're here at Morton Seafood, our home base on the banks of the Tchefuncte River in Madisonville. Well, a couple weeks ago, we took a great offshore trip. We went out with Chris Moran from Cajun Made Adventures down in Port Fourchon, Louisiana. You know, red snapper was the huge story this summer, but you may not know Louisiana has a great fishery for other species. We caught a ton of beeliners.
Of course, the way things went today, we ended up with a nice bunch of fish, and has been the trend lately. Martha kicked all of our butts. She caught more fish than anybody else, and happened again today.
And then we're going to take you for a demonstration on, I hope I get this right, gyotaku?
That's
Did
correct.
I say that right?
Yep.
You explain what it is.
So Leslie Charleville is a great artist. She went to school for art and she does fish prints. Not only fish prints, alligators too. You'll see more of what she does coming up. My second try at my mahi print, we changed the colors a little bit and I think it came out way better than the first one.
I print anything from shrimp all the way up to blue marlin, bluefin tuna, literally everything in between. I do a lot of alligators. I probably do 50 to 60 alligators a year.
And we've also got another great recipe for you. From Morton Seafood Restaurant and Bar on the banks of the Tchefuncte River in Madisonville, where you're watching Bayou Wild. Closed captioning made possible by Ceto.com. Become a member.
If you're a proud Bayou Wild TV viewer, check out the Bayou Wild TV collection shirts. Both regular tee and long sleeve dry fit are a perfect fit for any outdoorsman or woman who lives and plays in Bayou country. And they make perfect gifts. Go to BayouWildTV.com.
If you're lucky enough to bag a deer or a hog this season, bring it here to Double D. Double D processes hogs and exotic game and guarantees your product is always the meat you brought to Double D.
Double D Meats in Bogalusa, home of country smoked, spicy jalapeno cheddar, and other customized flavors.
Bring your deer or your hog here to Double D, where you always get your meat back in return. It's worth a drive to Bogalusa from anywhere. Double D.
Add the taste of Louisiana to your next meal. If you like creamy, bold, tangy, or spicy, bring home the taste of Louisiana with sauces from Louisiana Fish Fry products. Golden Meadow Fourchon Tarpon Rodeo has a rich history in this area, and coming to this event for a few years now with the media trip, it's kind of like revisiting old friends and family.
I don't get to come down here that often. I get to see old friends. A lot of the media people are here because it's a media day. And of course, Chris Moran, not a better guy to be around. It's kind of a laid-back type of fishing day because there's really no pressure to get out there and catch a lot of fish. We're out there mostly to have fun.
Started charter fishing here, fished here my whole life, but started charter fishing here in 1999. And, you know, as we all probably know, from 1999 to today, we've seen a lot of changes.
We're planning to target mangrove snappers, but unfortunately, it's happened in the past few years, the comeback of the red snapper has really not just given us problems about we got to catch snapper and release them, which is not a bad problem to have, but it also affects catching the other species. It's hard to get to them.
So the goal is to go catch mangrove snapper, but as a captain, when things don't work out, you have to adapt and overcome and look for whatever you can catch.
What you saw today with, you know, we fished for vermilion, we call them beeliners, but vermilion snapper. I mean, we even caught big eatable pinfish, you know, almacos. I mean, that's 3 species of fish that people never thought of 10 years ago to go after.
I've only ever speared for mangrove snappers, so I kind of knew what depth they would be at, but I didn't really know the technique. So it was actually probably more fun for me than a lot of people on the boat because it was something I had never really done before.
But we ended up with a lot of vermilion snappers. A lot of people call them beeliners, and some mixed jackfish, some big pinfish.
Another pinfish.
So all in all, it was a pretty good day. Some people call it exotic species fishing, and to me, it's a lot of fun. Of course, the way things went today, we ended up with a nice bunch of fish, and as been the trend lately, Martha kicked all of our butts. She caught more fish than anybody else, and happened again today.
I think it might come as a shock to say that I've never caught some of the species we caught today on rod and reel, but we don't do a lot of snapper fishing. We do traditionally American red snapper fishing, and Chris is right when he says you do have to adapt to different species.
If I can put cornmeal on it and fry it, then you can do anything else with it. You know, not every fish is friable. This one is everything. It's everythingable.
I mean, I've seen charters in Fushan picking up, you know, blackjacks and yellowtail snapper and Kubera snapper and things we just don't see anymore in Venice. So it's really a special place because there is just such a variety, and it's between 2 river basins, so the fishing is really good and the people are just as good.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
Hi, I'm Donnie Rouse. There are a lot of different reasons to shop at Rouse's.
It's the people. Everybody that works here is just so nice.
Our stores get deliveries 7 days a week.
They have such a wide variety at Rouse's. Everything's in stock. I mean, everything.
We use Rouse family recipes and ingredients found right here in the store.
It's the food. Rouse's food tastes like homemade.
And they're local.
Like us.
We also have great prices.
That's the difference Rouse's makes.
Hello, my friends. This is Louisiana native Zachary Richard. I cherish the outdoor experiences that make our state so special. And for the first time in over 60 years, hooping cranes are back in Louisiana. Wildlife and fisheries need your help as these beautiful birds resettle in our state. If you spot a hooping crane, observe it from a distance, and if you witness anyone harming one of these very special birds, call the number on the screen.
This message is underwritten by Chevron.
Meet our Bayou Wild crew and support our Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation at its Wild Night fundraising banquet Thursday, October 10th, Live Oak Arabians in Baton Rouge. For tickets, visit lawff.org.
In the world of fine art, East Asian influence always stands out. These handmade portraits, brought back to the U.S. by an Army engineer who served in the Korean War, are a reminder of history's influence on blending cultures across the globe. Art is materialized in many ways, and one Louisiana artist is dedicated to keeping a form of Japanese art with a unique name alive on the Gulf Coast.
Gyotaku literally translates in Japanese to fish rubbing. It was a means of documentation back in the 17th century. It's the way that fishermen document the size and species of their catch. My background is in painting and drawing. I graduated from LSU with degrees in studio art with a focus on painting and drawing, and as well as I have a degree in art history. So I come from a fishing and hunting, outdoor loving family, and it was just the perfect collision of those two worlds. So you'll take a little paint, and you will start painting the fish, and you'll paint even with the fins. Yep. Get a nice even layer on the fish. And you'll always brush in the direction of the scales.
Okay.
You grab one end, I'll grab the other. All right.
This is the critical part.
This is the critical part.
Okay.
And you're going to just start to rub the fish down. Just make sure we get the mouth really good. Smooth out right here. Moment of truth.
Let's see what we got.
Hey.
There it is.
Not too
bad. Not too bad for the first try.
First shot.
It's a lot easier to do than it is to say.
That's right. Gyotaku.
Gyotaku.
Today I used acrylic with canvas. The traditional way is with sumi ink and rice paper. But in an environment like this, with the wind, the rice paper is really hard to manage and control. And the sumi ink is very fluid. It's almost like water. So for the sake of the environment, we use something a little bit easier to control. I have gotten calls. I remember one time I got a call at just before 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning from a satellite phone in the middle of the Gulf saying, hey, I think I just landed a 700-pound bluefin. And so I got up, threw some clothes on, packed my supplies, and I drove to Orange Beach, Alabama to get that fish and to ink it. But it is not uncommon to get a call in the afternoon saying, look, can you meet me at a fishing dock, in Venice or in Grand Isle this evening? And I'm usually prepared during fishing season with all of my supplies with me.
The diversity of fish and wildlife along the Gulf Coast create a perfect palette for showcasing this unique art form.
Whenever it's their first time experiencing what Gyotaku is, there is truly an excitement to it. They're very intrigued by it. Usually it's in settings where while I'm trying to work really fast and get things done, there's barrages of people trying to ask me questions, and I try to be patient and answer all the questions during the process, but there's usually such an excitement. If it's at a public dock, it's not uncommon to have 30, 40, 50 people standing around watching it, filming it. So it's usually a pretty exciting thing for a lot of people.
This is my second try at my mahi print. We changed the colors a little bit, and I think it came out way better than the first one.
I print anything from shrimp all the way up to blue marlin, bluefin tuna, literally everything in between. I do a lot of alligators. I probably do 50 to 60 alligators a year. This is not fiberglass. The fish, like I said, its DNA is actually embedded into the canvas and into the paper. And people ask me all the time, like, does it smell? For a while it does. For a while you still smell the fish on it. But it's part of the process and part of the charm of it.
Coming up next, from Asian-inspired artwork to Asian cuisine, we join Chef Ryan Andre to create a halibut dish with a Cantonese flair.
Fresh cilantro on top.
Tops of the green onion.
And then when you pour the sauce over the top, it's just going to kind of warm that up. And
so all together, you can see it's a pretty fast, easy dish.
Fast, easy dish.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
Some things in life smell delicious. Others, not so much. Like a gas leak. Propane, for instance, is naturally odorless. That's why we add strong odorants to alert you if there is a leak. So if you ever smell gas, turn your system off at the tank and call your propane dealer immediately. Propane is a safe and exceptional fuel, and we want to keep it that way.
The Louisiana Wildfowl Festival is October 5th and 6th at the Castine Center at Pelican Park in Mandeville. Over 2,000 hand-carved and collector decoys and other stunning wildlife by world champion carvers. Compare your favorites with judges who award over $45,000 in prizes. Buy outstanding wildlife and wildfowl art at Sunday's auction. See live decoy carving and painting at the Louisiana Wildfowl Festival, Saturday, October 5th and 6th at the Castine Center in Mandeville's Pelican Park. Visit lwccg.com.
We're here today at Soji Modern Asian Restaurant with Chef Ryan Andre. Tell me a little bit about your restaurant before we get into kind of what you do. But this is a pretty interesting spot here. You have Asian food here. What are we talking about on your menu?
We actually have a modern Asian. So what we did was we tried to stay away from the fusion aspect of Asian and kind of putting Americanized stuff on it. So we went and did more traditional type stuff. I actually spent time in Thailand and stuff like that. So I actually researched some of the true, authentic recipes and stuff like that, and that's kind of what we do here is to kind of keep it traditional, keep it authentic, and kind of stay away from the Americanized stuff.
So you're also a pretty avid outdoorsman. You like to fish a lot. You've done Ride the Bull. You did pretty well in that this year. Tell us a little bit about your background outside.
Of course, I'm the kayaking chef on Instagram, but I was raised outdoors. I mean, I like to fish. I like to saltwater fish, hunting. I mean, I picked up hunting probably 15, 20 years ago, and I mean that's another passion of mine as well. I just like to be out in the woods and in the water.
Which brings us to what we're making today. We actually brought some of the halibut that we caught earlier this year over in Alaska. Tell folks what we're making today.
Well, I didn't get to go to Alaska.
But you need to come next year.
Yes, indeed. But we're actually making a Cantonese style halibut dish that's going to be using a lot of fresh green onion, cilantro, soy sauce, different types of stuff like that.
So we've got two pretty thick fillets. If you haven't cooked with halibut before, it's not really a flaky fish. It's more like a meaty fish.
Yeah, it's a little bit more dense. It's similar to flounder, but it's a little bit more dense than flounder.
All right, let's get started.
So we're going to get that salt right back here. And as you can see, our skillet's already hot. We're going to go ahead and salt both sides of the fillet. I like to cook with the kosher salt. I guess that iodized salt just kind of coats it way too much and gets it way too salty. So that's a little bit more for finishing your food at the table.
All right, is that good?
That's good.
What kind of oil are we cooking with today?
That's just simple canola oil. Okay. Keep it light and keep it where you won't taste oil on your fish instead of using heavier flavored oil and stuff.
And you've got it pretty hot too.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
And that's probably important to get the fish seared.
Yeah, we're going to sear that side down, and we're going to use the presentation side. flip it over. We're going to turn the fire down just a little bit. So, of course, because it's so thick, we're going to kind of cook it all the way through.
Right. Now, halibut, we've learned from trial and error cooking this before that it's a fish, not that you want to overcook any fish, but it's a fish that's easy to overcook. So what temperature would you like to compare this to for someone cooking it at home?
Probably a medium.
Okay.
I would cook it to about a 135, 140 degree internal temperature.
Okay.
That way it doesn't just
Get
fall
chewy.
apart. Yeah, it'll fall apart with those big old flakes in it.
Okay. That looks good.
So yeah, we're gonna let that cook for probably about another 2.5 to 3 minutes on that side. And
Nice little golden brown.
Yep.
When we come back, we're gonna put the sauce that we're about to prepare, make that, and put it together with the dish.
Hi, I'm Donnie Rouse. There are a lot of different reasons to shop at Rouse's.
It's the people. Everybody that works here is just so nice.
Our stores get deliveries 7 days a week.
They have such a wide variety at Rouse's. Everything's in stock. I mean, everything.
We use Rouse family recipes and ingredients found right here in the store.
It's the food. Rouse's food tastes like homemade.
And they're local.
Like us.
We also have great prices.
That's the difference Rouse's makes.
The Louisiana Wildfowl Festival is October 5th and 6th at the Castine Center at Pelican Park in Mandeville. Over 2,000 hand-carved and collector decoys and other stunning wildlife by world champion carvers. Compare your favorites with judges who award over $45,000 in prizes. Buy outstanding wildlife and wildfowl art at Sunday's auction. See live decoy carving and painting at the Louisiana Wildfowl Festival Saturday, October 5th and 6th at the Castine Center in Mandeville's Pelican Park. Visit lwccg.com. Here's how I guarantee my crawfish tastes great every time. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because the flavor is so good. Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil has more garlic, onion, paprika, lemon, and not too much salt.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag and pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
Welcome back. We're here at Soji Modern Asian Restaurant with Chef Ryan Andre. We're cooking some halibut from Alaska. We're doing a Cantonese dish. The fish is almost done. Now we're going to do the sauce.
Doing the sauce. All right, I'm gonna hand you these. We're gonna pull that fish here shortly.
Okay.
This is gonna be a garnish slash fresh herbs to go on top of that fish. All right, so we got a little bit more canola oil.
A couple tablespoons.
Yeah,
Don't need
about
to go
3
crazy.
tablespoons. We have 2 tablespoons of shredded ginger. And 2 tablespoons of shredded garlic.
Why is it that you like to keep the garlic kind of thick like that?
Louisiana thing, I guess. 'Cause,
Okay.
I mean, I just like the taste of garlic.
Yeah.
And it kind of
Oh yeah, you can smell that.
Yeah, slicing it super thin just kind of allows it to crisp up in there as well.
Yum.
We're going to let that brown just a little bit, and we're going to start adding everything else to it.
Yeah, it smells amazing. Ginger and garlic, both two very fragrant herbs, I
Yeah,
guess.
just like our holy trinity here in the
Exactly.
South is just, I mean, you can't beat that smell. I wish they could bottle that and put it in perfume or
Absolutely.
butter.
So this is the green onion, but you're using the bottoms of the green onion, the
Yeah,
bulb.
this is going to be more of your oniony and kind of a sweet flavor to it.
Okay.
The top of the green onion is going to be a little bit more,
Bitter?
a little bit fresher and stuff
Okay.
like that. So that's going to be more of a over the top of it. And then we have a little bit of mixture of soy sauce, sugar, water, and a little bit of salt. And then I got 1 teaspoon of sambal.
Sambal is?
Sambal is a chili garlic sauce.
Oh, the smells are awesome.
We can go ahead if you want to take
Sure.
that fish out.
Yep.
We can put that on that plate. Put one down like this. Kind of lean that other one up on it.
Oh, we're going fancy here.
Yeah, we're gonna get.
It's all
We gotta
about
get fancy.
presentation.
We're in a restaurant.
Absolutely. Presentation is everything.
At home too, I like to get fancy.
You eat with your eyes first.
Right. Sauce is about done. We're gonna let it reduce just a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna do.
Parsley?
This is cilantro.
Cilantro.
Fresh cilantro on top.
Tops of the green onion.
And then when you pour the sauce over the top, it's just gonna kind of warm that up and
So all
cook it
together, you
shrimp.
can see it's a pretty fast, easy dish.
Fast, easy dish.
Easy to make at home.
And we're gonna just pour this stuff.
Man, you could really host a dinner party and impress a lot of people with this one.
Indeed.
Get the sauces down for presentation.
It's all
Tell you
about
what,
the
I know what I'm
presentation.
making with my halibut when I get home.
I'll write the recipe down.
Start to finish, only about 15 minutes. Maybe the prep time
If
takes
that,
longer.
and you can actually, if you want to serve some vegetables with it, or maybe some steamed bok choy or something like that to go with it.
Now, what do you call this dish?
This is Cantonese halibut. You can actually do it steamed as well, but we did it here in a saute skillet.
All right, wonderful. Well, guess we're gonna take a break and dig into this.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
The iconic whooping crane is back in Louisiana. If you spot a whooping crane, remember, observe and admire it from a distance, and always report any harmful activity. You can always help the Louisiana whooping cranes thrive by donating to lawff.org.
Thank you to Chevron and the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation for their generous support. Meet our Bayou Wild crew and support our Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation at its Wild Night fundraising banquet Thursday, October 10th, Live Oak Arabians in Baton Rouge. For tickets, visit lawff.org.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Thanks for watching Bayou Wild TV. Remember, you can get all of your gear, hats, and shirts at BayouWildTV.com. And if you missed the episodes on TV, you can check them out online at YouTube. Just go to our YouTube channel, Bayou Wild TV.
And follow us on social media, the Bayou Wild TV on Facebook and Instagram. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Bayou Wild TV.